I'll tell you somebody who really loved your music, and that was Timbaland. So you went on Timbaland's stream. And so Timbaland has a stream where he and another producer he works with, I'm assuming, will listen to submissions by producers, and they're basically going to just give an up or down score. They're going to say they like it or they don't. They're not going to give any constructive feedback at all. It's like, this is either a yes or a no. Now, I'm going to be honest. I have tuned into the stream a few times, and I've heard some pretty decent stuff get shot down by them. You know what I mean? And then so, I mean, I've thought about sending something to them myself, and I'm like, I don't know. But your tracks were very, very, very well received.
Yeah, I think what it...
Were you nervous going into that?
No.
Wow. Well.
I only...
well.
No, because like... There's a certain level of confidence that you gain when you sort of develop your sound.
I don't have it. Like, I would have been a nervous wreck.
Here's the thing. I'll give you a scenario. Say you make a song that and you've listened to a lot of songs, you've made a lot of songs. Mm-hmm. You have an ear that is better than the normal ear. You hear things in songs that people who aren't in front of a computer making music all the time don't notice. So you have a good ear.
I think so.
Yeah, no, you do. So let's say you make a track. It's the best mixed track you've ever made. You're like, dang, I don't know what I did, but the mixing on this is phenomenal. It's mastered really well. The arrangement is really creative and catchy, and I just love this track, and it means a lot to me. And then if I came up to you and said, I don't like this track, like, even if I was the biggest producer in the world, it's like you get this level of confidence where you trust your ear and you trust your vision enough to where it doesn't mean that your track's bad, like because you already know that your track is good. It's just, it doesn't resonate with that person. So it's like, if Timbaland didn't like it, I wouldn't have, like, that's why I wasn't nervous, because it's like, I already know the track's good. If he doesn't like it, it's just because he didn't resonate with it. It's not because it's not good.
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of like, if other people have told me the track is good, if like a number of people has said, yeah, this track is great, I'm not going to feel too bad if one person didn't like it. But
I mean, there's some things like don't get me wrong, like if I if I showed my song to like Rick Rubin or just some crazy like mixing engineer who I know has a better ear than me because they've been doing this for decades, right? And they say, hey, this is great, but this needs a little work, then great, like, thank you. It's like if you're like a good cook, and this is probably a bad example. I was gonna say like you put it in front of Chef Ramsay, but like I've seen chefs.
Well,
I've seen chefs cry from what Chef Ramsay has to say. So maybe that's a bad.
Timbaland's kind of like, he is the Gordon Ramsay of production. He's pretty brutal in his because I mean, he's not brutal. He's never brutal. He doesn't say, "Oh, you suck. You shouldn't make beats." I mean, he's pretty. He'll just say he didn't like it. He's not gonna, But that's sometimes worse. Because I don't even tell you why they did it next.
Well,
they're so nonchalant about it.
I'll tell you. So I'll tell you why. Another reason why I wasn't nervous. I'll tell you why. So, Chuck Sutton, who I'm sure you've heard of or familiar with, people who are listening are familiar with, incredible producer, incredible sound designer, and just like innovator, right?
Oh yeah.
He sent demos in to Timbaland. And Timbaland didn't like it and said he still needed work. And that's what I was like, okay, because Chuck is very unique.
Chuck Sutton? He told Chuck Sutton.
Yeah, I wasn't on the stream, but I remember Chuck tweeting something out like, hey, like, Timbaland didn't really like my songs. And he had some opinion about it that I resonated with, where it was just like, music isn't 100% subjective, but a lot of it is subjective, where it's like, if you have like idols or whatever, don't let take their opinion with constructiveness.
With a grain of salt.
Take whatever they have to say and make it to your benefit. Don't let it bring your art down. Try to pick apart what they're saying and take what they offer to elevate your music. Don't let it, bring your music down. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely. Just wow. I mean, I can't tell you how many gems you dropped. Blue Cloud, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming here. And I know that you are on your way to the top. And I told you on Twitter, I want you to come on this podcast now before you blow up. And you won't have time to. Blue Cloud, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. I was happy to be here.
That is going to do it for this week's episode of Studio Chatter. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you next week for another episode.